First thing I'd like to do is, as we prepare to glue the lower fuselage on to the horizontal fuse, is do a little preparation. All of these slots are cut exactly to 6 millimeter, and it helps a little bit if you'll just squeeze each of the tabs. Just squeeze a little bit and it'll fit a lot nicer. We prepared the fit of the lower fuselage to the horizontal fuse. Now we're ready to go ahead and put it together. I like to have my builder square handy so I can make sure that I get my fuse perpendicular to the horizontal fuse when I put it together. But we're going to fit this together. You want to make certain that you get this these surfaces right here exactly flat, because that's going to be for your motor mount. And I'm going to go ahead and just push all the tabs in, walk it down, and all the tabs just drop right into place and line up perfectly. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my CA glue. In the first section between the servo and the motor mount, I'm just going to lean the fuselage over a little bit, and I'm going to work the fuselage back and forth to get the glue to wick across to the other side. And you'll actually see it come out on the other side. Now I'm going to put my square up against the fuselage. I'm going to firmly push down, and I'm going to kick this. We're going to let that sit for a moment and get this nice and secure, and then we'll go to the back of the airplane. Now we're going to do the aft vertical fuselage. Same thing, we're going to do about 2 inches of the back of the aircraft along the glued line. We're just going to rock it back and forth till you see the glue come through on the other side. I'm going to take my square, make sure that we've got this exactly perpendicular. I'm going to apply a little force and then kick it off. Let that sit till it becomes firm. At this point we're going to put the wing bracing in. These are the wing struts. The 4 struts are cut a little bit longer than you'll need them. You may want to come in and trim them just a little bit for aesthetic reasons. Other than that, it won't hurt to have them a little bit long. At this point I like to check and make sure that my fuselage is exactly perpendicular, which it is. We've weighted the wing down so it's exactly parallel to our table, and we've got our tail, go ahead and zoom in over there if you would. We've got the tail with weights on it to hold it exactly parallel to the wing, so we've got an exactly aligned airplane. What I'm going to do is just going to take my CA and I'm going to let it slide in from one end to the other so it'll get best penetration. We've got decals on the other side, so I didn't have to put wax paper in there to make sure it didn't flow through to the table. And the reason we use slots at KickAssAirCraft is we find that by using the slots it allows a larger glued surface to keep your struts from pulling out from the wing. Now on the fuselage here, I just like to put a little bit of glue on the strut itself and let it flow down into the groove. Sometimes you'll get a little flowing down the fuselage, and you can just kind of wipe that up with your finger. I'm going to do the same on the other side. We'll eventually come back after this is set and put a little more glue on this joint where the struts all come together. But right now we've got it glued adequately. Go ahead and kick it. And we may come back later with a little bit more glue, but we've got it held. So we've got exactly perpendicular, and we've got our wing set so it won't torque. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put our diagonal bracing in the fuselage to keep the fuselage from twisting. Again, we've still got our tail surface parallel to the wing. You're going to find 3 1.5 millimeter pieces of carbon, and we've got slots provided for them. Slide it from through the slot right next to the juncture of the wing struts into the slot in the horizontal fuselage. And I've already gone ahead and put a piece of tape below the horizontal fuse so that the glue won't run through. The next thing I do is put my finger here right at the fuselage, come by with my diagonal cutters and just cut that off. So I can just slide this directly into position and it'll come out flush with your fuse. Nice looking there. I'm going to go ahead and apply some glue to the other side now. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and glue the first diagonal brace. Slip a little glue in there, kick that off, and we're going to check the top, make sure that we've got that exactly perpendicular, and I'm just going to slip a little glue into this joint. Oops, ran a little glue down the fuselage. I'll just wipe that up. Let me get a little piece of paper towel here. And there we go. And I'm going to kick that off. So we're going to continue that process, working down the fuselage through our slot into the slot in the horizontal fuse, and go ahead and trim this off and kick both with glue and kicker.